Okay, I guess I'll start this one off. I'm a little fired up, as I was just saying to Will before we started this show. A little fired up with what happened to Zach Hyman this past weekend. Maybe you start. You kind of just told me, but start by sharing what you think about the whole situation.
Well, what it was the Leafs played against the Bruins. Was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday night.
And then there was a pass behind the net. Charlie McAvoy passed the puck to his D partner. I have no idea who it is. I wasn't watching the game, and then Hyman came in a little bit late and interfered with him, knocked him down. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a headshot though. It was just like it was a body check, but it was late.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Mm.
I'll put it up on our Twitter to see what everybody else thinks, but
Good call.
So that fired you up because now Zach Hyman is suspended for 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah, he. I don't know. I've been comparing it to other things. Like the league is quite inconsistent right now. If Ryan Reeves got nothing, and then after the game even did like an interview saying that he ran into a lion in the woods after his hit, and he got nothing, and then Zach Hyman had that hit because McAvoy was watching his pass. Like, I don't know. It was late. I'll give him that, but I don't think it was 2 games. Like, I think if you would have tossed him for the rest of the game, I would have been okay. Like, that's worth it, right? Like, that's deserving.
You touched on it just there. How did Reeves not even get a fine for what he said about his hit on Wilson there a couple weeks ago?
How did he not get a fine for not only the hit, but then what he said? And then doing like, I wanted to buy that autograph picture. Did you see that going around?
Yeah, and then it was destroyed.
Yeah. But I tried looking for it because I wanted to see how much it was. But I don't know how that can happen with Ryan Reeves. And then Zach Hyman can lay that hit and get 2 games. And then what was the guy's name who hit Morgan Riley, you said?
Chris Wagner.
Chris Wagner. I thought that hit was so much more vicious than the Zach Hyman hit. He went right for Morgan's head.
I'm gonna have to look at that. See, I didn't watch the game, so I'm just kind of going for
Morgan's coming through the middle, and he's like right at the top of the face-off circle at center ice. And that guy like goes right through his head. And then Ron Hainsey challenges them to a fight. And they go, right? But like that guy he also didn't get a fine or a suspension either. I don't think either one was worth a suspension. I'll say this. I don't think either one was worth a suspension. I think they both could have got tossed for the rest of the game. But if you're gonna suspend Hyman, you gotta give something to that Wagner guy.
I'm just about to watch it, so you're gonna hear my reaction very, very shortly to the Wagner hit.
I thought it was a lot more vicious than the Zach Hyman one. Zach Hyman's, honestly, it was a little late, but it was just finishing a check, I thought. He didn't hit him in the head. He just nailed him. He caught a guy who was watching his pass.
Yeah, that's one thing they teach you in hockey schools, not to watch your pass. It was a weird hit, the Wagner versus Riley one.
But it was like through his head, though.
Yeah, it was
like shoulder head area. It was a lot higher than the Zach Hyman hit.
Yeah, I don't think that the Hyman hit was high. I think it was that it was late and then it was interference, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, then you can't toss him for 2 games. You give him the rest of the game because I think there was that was kind of the point, if I remember correctly. Like the Leafs were only down 4-1 at that point. I'm pretty sure. So tossing him out of the game would have been a pretty big penalty because they were just starting to get momentum. Dermott just scored to make it 4-1. They were starting to get a little momentum back. So if you would have tossed him, then that would have been an all right slap on the wrist penalty, I guess. But I don't think either one was worth a game, or 2 games or any games, in my opinion. I think it was worth getting tossed for the rest of that game.
Yep.
But if you're going to do one, you got to do the other, I think. And I thought it was ridiculous. And then I was talking to someone in class today who told me that, I just said this to you earlier too, that Milan Lucic did something exactly the same the next night, and he didn't even get looked at. So it's just, I don't like the inconsistency from the league right now. I think that's what's really firing me up.
Yeah, the league, it seems like there's so much turnover at the position now, like that George Peros has, director of player safety. I think it's hard to find some sort of consistency because nobody seems to hold that position for very long, eh?
No.
It's just weird.
Because it is a thankless job.
Yeah, it is. For sure
but,
it is.
I don't know. I just, that kind of fired me up. And now they play Carolina tonight, or whenever this is uploaded. It could be yesterday, who knows. But they play Carolina tonight, which is an okay game. But then they play Tampa on Thursday, which is a massive game. And they won't have Hyman on that first line with Tavares and Marner. So Connor Brown's sliding in there now. I'm hoping that maybe that can light a spark under Connor Brown because he obviously hasn't had the greatest start to the year. So maybe putting him up there with them could maybe light a little spark under him and have him start to pick up his game a little bit. But
yeah, because he has 3 goals, right?
yeah, and like 2 of them are empty netters, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, brutal.
So yeah, it's a tough bounce, and you wonder why one got it and the other one didn't. But anyway, you want to talk World Juniors now?
Yeah, so this episode's gonna be about the World Juniors. The World Juniors is coming up, starts Boxing Day. Canada plays. Who do they play on Boxing Day?
I think it's like the Czech Republic. I don't actually. It might not, might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's not a big. I know it's not a big game.
Yeah, they usually start slow.
Well, last year though they played Russia on Boxing Day, or Sweden or someone. They played someone good on Boxing Day.
Yeah, somebody not bad anyway.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the 3 of them, it was Russia, Canada, U.S. were all in the same division because they played the U.S. on Boxing Day outdoors.
Right. Oh.
Or on New Year's Eve outdoors.
Yeah, that's sick, eh?
So.
Like, I don't think they can have an outdoor game out in Vancouver and Victoria.
No, it'd just be rainy.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out who they play. But so anyways, they released the selection camp roster. When was that? Last week? Or the week before?
Last Monday.
Last Monday, okay. So now that it's out there, Riley and I, we did this last year. We predicted the roster from, like, the official roster that Canada plays in the tournament with, and prior to it actually being finalized. So cuts will be made. Will be starting to be made Thursday, I heard, and right now camp's underway.
Yep.
There's quite a bit of guys, a lot of familiar names, but only 2 returning players. And that would be Alex Formetin from the London Knights and drafted by the Ottawa Senators, and Maxime Comtois from the Anaheim Ducks organization, but he plays for Drummondville in the QMJHL. So both are very different players. But yeah, and then
one likes to talk in an Uber, another one doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, just to speak a little bit about the returning players, Comtois is he's a bigger winger who doesn't really use much of his size, but he's more of a scorer. Whereas Formetin, he's also a winger, relies on his speed, and he's got a nice scoring touch. But actually, Formetin's kind of a cool story, the way his journey to the NHL. Just a couple years ago, he was playing with the Junior A Aurora Tigers, and then got his feet wet with the London Knights, and they fast-tracked him a little bit, and then he went in the second round of the Ottawa Senators in 2017 draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a top player with Canada last year, so I'm sure they're going to rely on some of their veterans. So what we'll do is predict what we think the teams are going to look like.
Yeah, you're going to be a lot better at this than I am. I remember last year. For those of you who don't know, Will's a little bit more of a junior hockey fanatic than I am. I know the OHL, but he knows more of the Q and the WHL and I guess prospects and junior hockey players and college hockey players. He knows them a lot more than I do. So I'm just gonna give him my best with what I've heard and names that I recognize and a couple players I have seen play. So yeah, well I'm gonna just give him my best.
And obviously we're not going to be 100% accurate. Neither of us are going to be 100% accurate because it's almost impossible because there's always a few surprises every year.
I'm pretty sure last year, like everyone, I did not have one person that was cut, like a person that I had cut on my team. Like if that makes any sense, like.
Yeah.
Let's say I cut 7 people, like 7 people that I picked were cut.
That's pretty funny. But like, what can you do, really? If you're trying to predict the roster. Like, it's not like Craig Button, TSN's Craig Button is out there predicting the entire roster either. I mean, there's always a few surprises. I mean, I think there are some locks for Canada.
Yeah.
And obviously they'd like to get a few NHL guys back, or at least Robert Thomas. But actually, he's come on of late and he's got 8 points with the Blues this year, so he's playing in the NHL. So what I'll do, I'm gonna start just by naming some of the players that are at selection camp.
Okay.
So I'll start from the net out. So Matthew Villalta, Ian Scott, Michael DiPietro, that's the 3 goaltenders. Canada usually carries 2. On D, they have Nicholas Baudin, Jacob Bernard Docker, Evan Bouchard, Josh Brook, Cam Karate, Noah Dobson, Pierre-Olivier Joseph, Jared McIsaac, Ian Mitchell, Marcus Phillips, and Ty Smith. A couple of those names were draftees from the 2018 draft in June. And then up front, bunch of forwards. Jared Anderson Dolan, people might remember him from LA. He started the year there. Shane Bowers, Maxime Comtois, like we said, he'll be a lock. Ty Delandria, Mackenzie Entwistle, Alex Formenton, Liam Foodie, Morgan Frost, Cody Glass, Barrett Hayton, Alexis Lafreniere. He's the only 17-year-old invited. Raphael Lavoie, Brett Leeson, Isaac Ratcliffe, Jack Studnicka, Nick Suzuki, Owen Tippett, Joe Valeno, Gabe Velarde, and I missed this a while ago to another defenseman is Kalen Addison. So that's the entire list. We put it up on our Instagram yesterday too. It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
But most of the guys are drafted or going to be drafted this June. Well, next June. June 2019. But want to start by predicting from the net out. I think the net out's easiest way to go.
Yeah, I think they're both locks too. So
I'll let you predict yours. I think we have the same ones.
Yeah, I've got Michael DiPietro, who's playing for the Ottawa 67s right now. He's a Vancouver draft pick. And I also have Ian Scott, who's playing for the Prince Albert Raiders in the WHL. He's a Toronto draft pick as well. So those are my 2 goalies.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Both goalies are playing very well.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad for Villalta and Sault Ste. Marie, but it's unless it carries 3 goalies, which you know what I want to say right now before we move on to defensemen is I really like that they are going with the 3 goalies to camp system, because in years past they used to remember when they used to win every year, and then a couple years ago they lost every year. They only brought 2 goalies to camp those years that they lost.
It was like Malcolm Subban and
yeah. But those years, they always only brought 2 goalies. So I'm glad that they're bringing 3 goalies, so there's a little bit of competition. Who knows what could happen here, though, because I remember last year I had DiPietro on the team and he got cut. So
he was the last goaltender cut.
So,
but yeah, like you said, I do believe that those will be the 2 goalies, Ian Scott and Michael DiPietro. DiPietro was just traded from Windsor, but he's having an season. So he was just traded to Ottawa to the 67s there a few days ago. Ian Scott, he's a Leafs draft pick, 4th round. He's having an incredible year. He's got a 161 goals against average. He's got 23 wins, 2 losses, and 1 overtime loss in 26 games playing for the Prince Albert Raiders. 943 save percentage too. Imagine, that's crazy. So that's the future of the Leafs net potentially.
Hey, Freddie's only here a couple more years, so.
Yeah, that's it. Freddie's still young, but yeah, I agree with you totally. I think those will be the two goalies there. Villalta, he's a Kings prospect as well, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know what you did on the back end. I picked 7 guys. I don't know if I picked too many or not enough. Forward, I picked 3, 6, 9, 12. I picked 15 forwards and 7 defensemen.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
I don't know if that's right or not. Well, I mean, you have 23 people, so 15
13
plus.
forwards, 7 D, 2 goalies.
Oh, no, I picked 6, 9, 12, 14. I picked 14 forwards.
Okay.
14 forwards, 7 defensemen, 2 goalies. That's 23 guys.
Perfect. Yeah, so we can start with the net. So we started net out. So now we'll go to D.
Okay, you go ahead.
I'll just go from my top guys down. My top guys would be Evan Bouchard from the London Knights, draft pick of the Oilers. Noah Dobson. I think he was drafted by the Islanders. Yeah. Good defenseman. Josh Brook, 2nd round pick by the Habs. He's really coming on of late. Ty Smith, Devils 1st rounder in 2018. Jared McIsaac, Detroit Red Wings prospect. He plays out in Halifax. And Ian Mitchell. So I pretty much picked my D as like left, right, you know, lefty, righty.
Okay. I didn't really think of that now that
And
you're
then
saying that.
my seventh defenseman is Pierre-Olivier Joseph. He's just, I really like that guy's game, but I'm not sure if I remember Mathieu Joseph. He played, he plays in Tampa now, but that's his younger brother. He was on.
He didn't Matthew play for Charlottetown as well?
I think yeah, he did. Yeah, I think so.
That's why I thought I was like when you were saying that name, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that guy already played, but it was his brother.
Yeah, he's
I
an
guess.
Arizona Coyotes pick, Pierre-Olivier, and then Matthew, he plays in Tampa, but yeah, he's my seventh defenseman, good puck mover. What about you?
Yeah, we got a few of the same ones. I got Evan Bouchard, I got Noah Dobson, Cameron Crotty, and Ian Mitchell, two guys I saw play in Bonnyville, the World Junior A Challenge. I didn't realize they were only 17 at the time they were playing there, and they were playing some big minutes. They played it. They won a silver medal out there, both. Or no, Ian Mitchell was on Canada West. He didn't do very well, but Cameron Crotty played in the bronze medal game. I had Pierre Olivier Joseph, Jared McIsaac, and Kalen Addison as well. I don't really know any of these guys, but I saw that Kalen Addison was drafted by Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's pretty good at drafting, so I figured that'd be good too. But you never know. Again, right? Like it's I threw a couple, as you'll see throughout my team, with like Ian Mitchell and Cameron Crotty. I threw a couple guys from the NCAA because it seems like Hockey Canada does like picking a couple guys from down there.
Yeah, that's true, they do.
So, because my forwards, I think I only have one from there. So, like last year, you think Cale Makar and was it Dante Fabro who played for BU?
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are my seven defensemen. I don't have them in any sort of order. I don't have them as like a seven. I just picked seven guys who I thought would make it. That's kind of same with my forwards. I just picked 14 guys.
Cool.
So
for those who don't know, Cameron Crotty is from Greeley, Ontario. It's just outside Ottawa. He plays for Boston University. He's an Arizona Coyotes draft pick. Ian Mitchell.
Guy loves a fishbowl.
The fishbowl. Yeah, Google him. Cam Crotty.
Actually, I think he wore a cage out there, and then Ian Mitchell wore the fishbowl.
That's funny.
But
And then Ian Mitchell, right-handed shot. He's from Calahoo, Alberta. Plays for the University of Denver. He's a second-round pick of the Blackhawks in 17 too.
Former Spruce Grove Saint.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Of the Alberta Junior Hockey. The Alberta Junior
That's
Hockey.
pretty cool. Yeah, of the guys we named, I think there's a couple of locks in Evan Bouchard and Noah Dobson. I think those are the two, like, bigger names, and they performed for Canada on the world stage before. I think they both played at the World U18s. Well, most of these guys have, but I mean,
yeah.
Evan Bouchard made the Oilers out of camp. He's having a strong year in London. And Noah Dobson, he's still playing out in the queue. He's having a good year. But yeah, I just picked the Habs prospect on the back end, Josh Brook, because scouts are really high on him right now, and I know he's having a great year out in Moose Jaw in the WHL. He's a right-handed shot. He might be a good fit. Actually, I just saw the pairings, the D pairings, unfair advantage. But the top pairing is Bouchard paired with Brock right now. That's per Bob McKenzie. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't though. So we'll know by Thursday who some of the cuts are anyway.
Yep, and forwards too. I noticed that when they picked the team, they did not pick one center.
Like one.
Was that true or not? Because Craig Button said they didn't pick one centerman.
One.
I don't think that's true.
No, that's not true. Like right now.
Like the guys who are trying out as forward. Was he lying? That guy.
He might be lying because I can name a few right now, like Delandria, Morgan Frost.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it right now. But that's what he said when they picked the team. He's like, well, they're going with no centerman this year. And I don't know if that was just a joke or like because I don't really get his big nose jokes.
Yeah, I don't really understand why you would say that. Where you'd say that because Barrett Hayton, he's like a pure center. Morgan Frost.
Well, that's what I'm looking at it now. I'm like, and then I was just watching the videos. I'm like, those guys are taking face-offs.
Joe Valeno, another center. Gabe Velarde. They're all centers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them can play wing. I'll say that, but.
Well, nice of
nice of
Craig to make me look like an idiot.
We'll move on to the forward group, and there actually are centers. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Again, I'll. Do you want
yeah,
me to
sure.
start off or what? Okay. Again, I didn't pick. I lined everything up as right wing, left wing, center, but I just have that, so I made sure I had enough guys. I made pick not too
Yeah,
many guys. So I started off with Cody Glass, who's playing for the Portland Winterhawks WHL. Alex Formanton, Liam Foodie, who's having a great year down in London, as you would know, being around the London area. Morgan Frost, he's a really good player in the Sault Ste. Marie. We're playing for Sault Ste. Marie. Nick Suzuki, he's a Montreal guy now. He's traded for
yeah,
Pacioretty,
know
right?
him.
Barrett Hayden, um, Owen Tippett, Mackenzie Entwistle, Maxime Comtois. Uh, how do you say his name? Alexis
Alexi
Lafreniere?
Lafreniere, yeah.
Alexis Lafreniere. I hope he makes a team. Uh, I watched him play for. Okay, I'll finish my team and then I'll go back to that. Ty Delandria, Gabe Velarde, Joseph Valeno, and Shane Bowers. Those are who I have at forward. And that's not including if Robert Thomas or someone like that gets sent back. That's just who's been invited to the actual camp. So, yeah, I watched the CHL Saturday Showcase on Saturday. Rimouski was playing Sherbrooke, and I had the game turned on, and Sherbrooke was up 2-0, and it was the second intermission. I was like, I'm going to watch the sledge hockey. Canada USA were in the gold medal game of sledge hockey, so I put that on.
Yeah.
And then I flip back to the game, and Lafreniere's got 3 points, and they're up 3-2.
He's unreal, man.
I was like, what the hell did I miss?
Yeah, he's great. I actually, no big deal. I just interviewed one of the Canadian sledge hockey players, but
Not a big deal. Was it the what's the guy's name? Is it
Tyler
Armstrong
McGregor.
or something? McGregor.
He's from London area.
Yeah.
Deal. But yeah, Lafreniere. To your point about Lafreniere, 17 years old, 6 foot, 180 pounds. I think he's bigger than 6 foot, to be honest. 54 points in 31 games, and he's 17 years old playing in Rimouski.
Won't get drafted till 2020. So he just turned 17.
October 11th, he turned 17.
Yeah.
And Craig Button calls him. He says he plays like Jamie Benn. I think he's got more of a scoring touch than Jamie Benn does, even though Ben could pot 30. I think he's.
Craig Button also might think he doesn't play center either. So.
Well, Lafreniere is a left winger.
Well, then he's right.
You'd be right. But Lafreniere is the first 17-year-old to score 40 or more goals since Sidney Crosby in the queue. So.
Rimouski, man, there's something in the water there.
80 points in 60 games in his first year, and now he's on pace for
unreal.
A lot more than that. If he's got 54 and 31, that would make him on pace for 118 points if he plays a full season. But he'll miss some time with this tournament, I assume.
Well, imagine that, though he makes the cut this year. That's 3 years to play.
Like all the greats. Like
well, he'd play this year, and then he'd play next year, and then he would be in the league, right? If he went first overall and was kept with his team, so which is probably going to happen.
Very likely. I'm high on him going first overall too. I like his game. So yeah, my team. A couple of areas where we differ a little bit. Obviously, I have Comtois and Formanton as they're returning. Gabe Velarde I have in there. He's gonna be. I think he just joined the selection camp over in Vancouver. He was on loan in the AHL by LA. He just got back from an injury, but this would be his second go at it for the World Juniors. Owen Tippett, he was cut last year. Jared Anderson Dolan, he started the year in LA. He actually has a wrist injury right now, but if they can get him back, I think he'll make the team.
Yeah, I saw that too. I stayed. I don't think I picked
No, I don't
him, right?
think so.
No, I stayed away from him because of that.
Might be a good point. Nick Suzuki, Barrett Hayton, Brett Leeson. I went with Brett Leeson just because I think he's going to be this year's Drake Batherson, and he's putting up a pile of goals right now, but I'll get to that in a second. Ty Delandria, loved that guy's two-way game. Shane Bowers, Joe Valeno, and am I missing any? No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's my forward group. But, yeah, Brett, my point about Brett Leeson is, remember how Batherson was kind of coming on last year? And he was kind of like an under the radar. He was off Hockey Canada's radar, and then by the time it was like November, everyone was kind of wondering if he'd get an invite because he was tearing up the Quebec League. Well, now Brett Leeson's doing that in the WHL. He's got 64 points, 28 goals in 31 games.
Nuts.
Big center, more of a winger though. He's a Craig Button center. But he went undrafted in his first year of eligibility, and this is his 4th year in the WHL. So I don't know what his.
Pretty sure Batherson did too.
Yeah, he did. And I don't really know what Leeson's NHL upside would be, but Hockey Canada still tends to lean towards guys who can score. If you think about Tyler Steenbergen from last year, he was tearing up the WHL at this point, and he ended up making the team.
And you remember his first goal of the tournament?
It was in the last game.
It was the game winner.
Crazy.
I was saying that. I don't know if you remember. This is something that the podcast doesn't know. But me and you recorded a podcast after the gold medal game.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It wasn't our best work, but I was saying to you, I'm pretty sure we were texting during the game, and I think I said, yeah, man, if Canada wins, I hope Steenbergen can get that goal because, man, it would just be tough to be the only guy on the team to not score, and then he got the most important one of the tournament.
It was crazy. It was unbelievable. He was the only forward without a goal going into the game because Canada rolled 4 lines They were a pretty deep team last year.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll be honest with you. I got bored a couple weekends ago. Maybe it was last weekend. Actually, it might have been like Tuesday or something because I didn't have class on Tuesday. I watched the gold medal game from last year.
The entire?
On YouTube.
My gosh. That's crazy.
all 3 hours of it.
That's amazing. It was a good game.
Yeah. I've been doing that because I'm getting so fired up. Like, running out of Netflix shows that I powered through Shameless. I'm giving Bob's Burgers a go. That's a pretty good show. I like it. Heard of it. I love it. But now, like, you can only watch so much Netflix before you get sick of it. So I mixed in a YouTube deep dive and I found the games. So they've got like every game. So I might mix in the outdoor game.
Nice.
Too.
Awesome.
Because that was a wicked game too.
Not the results we all wanted, but still.
No, remember how much it snowed and stuff?
Yeah, it was tough.
I want to give a quick shout out here. Or are you still talking?
No, I'm done. I was just gonna say we should predict the captains of the team. Remember we did that last year? We picked 3.
Yeah.
Just a C and 2 A's or something.
A C and 2 A's. Okay. You got yours. I think I got mine. Okay. Go.
Okay.
You go.
Alex Formenton with the C, Max Comtois with the A, and Gabe Velarde with an A.
That's what I had
really?
to.
In that order?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was trying to decide if I want Comtois or Formenton to get the C, but I started as soon as I said go, I decided Formenton for the C. So.
Oh. And the tournament gets underway Boxing Day, 5 p.m.
Do you want to pick bronze, gold, silver,
sure,
or do you not sure? Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go Canada gold. I think silver. I'm gonna go Sweden again, and then bronze. Bronze either Russia or the States.
Yeah, I got Canada beating Sweden because shout out to my boy Nick Langlois in my class. He's a big junior hockey fan too, and he thinks that Sweden's back end is going to be pretty steep, and there it is because they'll have Liljegren, they'll have Sandin, both playing pro right now.
Liljegren's hurt; he's not playing.
He's not coming?
They just replaced him with a draft-eligible prospect named Philip Broberg. Very good player. Probably going to go top 5.
Well, still, Sandin's a pretty good, hell of a player
great.
too.
Yeah, they actually have quite a team. Quite a selection camp anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Their teams will be finalized at the same time as Canada's, but it's
yeah. I got a feeling Canada's going to beat Sweden in the gold medal game, and the U.S. will win the bronze. But I feel like the semifinal game, but it'll be between Sweden and the States, and I think it'll be just outstanding because those two are. I think the Hughes brothers are going to have a hell of a tournament too. Quinn and Jack.
That's a kid to watch because he's going to go first overall this year as Jack Hughes. Looks like he's 13. Honestly, he's like the second coming of. He's probably the third coming of Patrick Kane because so is Mitch Marner. But He might
Yeah.
project to be a little bit more than Patrick Kane. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't really like to compare players because it's not fair. But
we'll see how he plays.
yeah,
though.
he's unreal. He's a little bit small, but he's unreal. Just such a talent.
Yeah.
And then Quinn is his brother, and he's sick too. Defenseman though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's our predictions. We'll do you have yours written down? I'll throw it up on our Instagram tomorrow or whenever this is up.
Yeah, I have. I typed them out.
Sweet.
So I can send you a picture. I don't think I spelled a lot of names right, but I just did it really
That's
quickly.
All right.
It's crunch time here at Loyalist College for Riley, so he's been kind of powering through this.
And then Riley's done school this week.
Yeah, Thursday, and then off to internship, buddy.
Peterborough Pete's.
Yeah, I'm so fired up. I'm excited.
We can we'll talk.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good gig.
By the time, well, we'll be recording probably another one sometime soon, and then after that you'll be with the Pete's, so we'll be talking about probably some of your experiences with working in the OHL as an intern.
Yeah, and we'll see. I feel like a few guys who are playing on this team might be kicking around the Memorial Center as a visitor, so I'll get to see some of them too.
I was just thinking, isn't there's a couple of guys from Peterborough that are at Canada's selection camp, and Owen Tippett and Baird Hayton.
Yeah, and not too far, Ty Delandry is from Port Perry, which isn't too far from Peterborough either.
He's a sick player. I love him.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly touch on Owen Tippett. We're kind of going long here, but
it's all right. Whatever.
How long are we? We're only a half an hour in. Owen Tippett, did you hear what happened to him? He got suspended.
No, I didn't. I forget.
Yeah, he flicked the puck into the crowd during the second intermission to a kid and got.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, I saw a meme that was kind of poking fun of the OHL for making fun of him
Well, but this is where it gets kind of crazy. So it was only a foam puck, which I don't understand why there's a foam puck on the ice, but it was a foam puck. So he only got a game. But if it would have been a real puck, he would have got 5 games, and he would not have played for Canada.
That's unbelievable. He's lucky then.
Well, come on. Like, he didn't, it's a kind of a joke of a rule.
Malicious. It's not like it's malicious whatsoever.
No, he's giving the puck to a kid. But imagine that. If he would have been a real puck, he would have got 5 games. Boom, not on Team Canada. Because he didn't make it last year either.
No, he got cut pretty early, actually.
Yeah.
He's a first-round pick of the Panthers, too. Pure sniper, that kid. But yeah, we'll be back. Thanks again to our sponsor, Seat Giant. Seat Giant.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually taking I'll give a quick shout out to Seat Giant. I'm taking a look right now. I might get some Mumford & Sons tickets for next week.
Next weekend?
Through Seat Giant. Next Tuesday, Tuesday.
I know they have like a secret show in Toronto, too, that Chorus Entertainment is putting on, too. They have a big promo.
Maybe after this you text me the address.
Well, I think you have to win tickets through the radio. You might have to the radio.
Yeah. The only we'll talk about this off there, but I'm excited. I might end up going next Tuesday night.
I like them.
They're here for 2 shows.
Well, we'll finish the podcast off with a little bit of Mumford.
Get Hopeless Wanderer.
All right. Thanks again to Seat Giant. Use our promo code Will and Rye on Ice, WILLANDRYE, to save an additional 5% on Canadian dollar sold tickets at seatgiant.ca. If you're ever wondering what our Seat Giant promo code is, it's on all of our pages online: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, it's there. And we'll be back soon, hopefully.
Yep. All right. Have a good. If we don't talk to you before the World Juniors, though, enjoy the show. Have a good holiday. But I'm sure we'll talk to you before that. But.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so.
Yeah. Well, after this week, I'm off, so we can talk all we want.
Well, every day.
Every day.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.